Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am bringing you this glowy skin makeup look. I mean, it's not going to include the eyes. This is all about skin. You guys will see in the tutorial. I'm showing you basically how I like to make myself look dewy even though I'm super oily in my T-zone and I'm combination on the outside of my face. I go from normal, I'm pretty much normal on the outside of my face or the outer perimeter of my face, but I'm always oily in the T-zone no matter what. It's a little less in the winter and it's a lot more in the summer, but yeah, I wanted to show you guys this because I know that dewy, beautiful, fresh looking skin is totally in, but I don't think that only people with dry skin that are able to use all these dewy products to bring out that nice look without looking greasy are the only people that can do it. I think we can do it too. So if you guys are interested in learning how to get some dewy skin action going on this winter, even if you are oily combination or oily in general, just keep on watching. If you guys hear any wind or whistling, it's literally the wind outside. There's nothing I could do about it. Did you hear that? It's like extremely windy out today and there's like really nothing I can do. All the windows are closed, but I guess I'm just gonna have to deal with that. But anyway, I'm gonna start off obviously with my skincare because I wanted to just tell you guys or show you guys, for those of you who have the oily combination skin type like I do, you shouldn't necessarily not moisturize. Like, moisturizing is a huge thing. I know some people get this misconception where I shouldn't moisturize, I'm really oily, like it doesn't make sense. No, your skin needs the moisture. If you're putting moisture into your skin doesn't feel like it needs to produce the oils or the moisture. If you're not putting the moisturizer or getting your skin nice and supple and soft and prepping it for the makeup, your skin feels like, oh, I need oils, like I need to have that produced. So with that being said, I want to recommend this Dermalogica one because this is a matte moisturizer, which is kind of like, what? It's matte and it's moisturizing. It's an oil clearing matte moisturizer. That's what it says here. It's good for minimizing oil and shine. So you're still getting your moisture, but you're not overdoing it or putting something under your makeup that's going to make you shiny. So this is perfect for my oily combination people. Also, I did my eyebrows off camera. That's the only thing that I have on my face just because I have full eyebrows and I just did them like natural. I just put a little bit of powder and that was that. So yeah, so that's done. The moisturizer is done. Now obviously we're going to go on to prepping the skin even further, which is primers. So primers, everybody who has oily combination skin or oily T-zone always wants to get that nice matte T-zone because it's such a pain to always blot and be all up in there every second with like oil, those little blotting papers and all that stuff. So what I like to use is also a matte moisturizer. This is the Beautifully Matte Makeup Base Stop Shine for a matte finish and improves blemishes. This is hypoallergenic and this is by Boots No. 7. You guys know I am ride or die for my Becca one, but this one is a really great dupe, so I figured I'd just use it in this video today. You want to just press this into your T-zone or where you get oily the most. You don't necessarily have to put that all over your face, but if you are very oily, girl, do wherever you have to do it because I totally get it. For me, I just have a very oily T-zone and pretty much normal outer perimeter of my face. And during the winter time or when it gets really cold here in Jersey, I'm pretty much normal with a little bit of oil still just on my nose. So that's why I can go on with this next product. This is Cover FX Illuminating Primer. Now, again, if you're really oily, you don't have to go in with an illuminating primer, but this is the best way or one of my little tricks of getting a nice glowy complexion, but still, even though you're oily combination. So I love using something like this to put underneath my makeup. So again, this is the Cover FX Illuminating Primer, and I'm just going to be putting this on the outer perimeter of my face. I did put a little bit on my chin, but it's no big deal. Also, this primer is great for people who have oily combination skin if they still want some illumination to their face because it's not super oily. It actually dries it dries really nicely. It's just enough of an illumination without being like super like intense or anything like that. So I really recommend that one for us oily combo people. Okay, so now we're gonna go on to foundation. So I know foundations get a little bit weird when it comes to oily combo girls because we tend to stick with matte foundations, but then we feel like we look too flat or matte. And for those who want to look glowy, that's very annoying. For those who don't want to look glowy, that's great. There's nothing wrong with looking matte. I mean, that's totally fine. I go through phases where sometimes I want to be matte, 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 And then now I'm in my phase where I definitely want some radiance to my skin all year round. It doesn't matter if it's summer, spring, winter, fall, whatever. So my ride or die, no matter what, I'll just keep it easy, is my Estee Lauder Double Wear, because it's nice and matte and it subsides my oils, but it doesn't look super cakey and it's not too intense with like just making me look like really, really, really matte basically. But there's different ways to use this, I feel, and I feel like when you use it with a beauty blender, it gives more of that skin-like appearance, or just a little bit more, not as matte, I guess. And then when you use it with a brush, it really packs it on and really gets that matte look going on. So today we're going to use it with a beauty blender. Before I do so, I'm going to spray my face with Fix Plus, because that's going to aid in looking just a little bit more dewy, but it's not like a dewy mist spray or anything like that, so it won't make you oily or anything like that. It just kind of helps a little bit. And then I'm going to take 2 pumps of my Estee Lauder Double Wear. Let's do it like this. Whoops! I think I just spilled that on my carpet. Oh well. 1, 2, okay. 2 pumps right there, and I'm taking a damp beauty blender. That's very important. You want to make sure it's nice and damp. So I'm going to pick the product up and I'm going to just dab this all over my skin. Now, the thing with combo oily also is, or oily combination, is that if you're just oily right here in your T-zone and you're pretty much normal, even normal to dry on the outer perimeter of your face, feel free to mix foundations. I mean, I've done it where I just put this right in the center of my face and then I use a more normal foundation on the rest of my face, because I want to just make sure I'm nice and set without oils peeking through as much as I possibly can control, right in the center of my face, more so my nose. So I'm just going to dab this all over my face. Nothing too special here. The beauty blender sometimes can get a little tricky. Make sure you're taking your time in blending, because sometimes it's happened to me where in the beginning when I first started using it, I would dab foundation all over my face and then I would go over it to blend it, and the spots would still be there, either from the foundation just drying too fast or me just not taking the time to really sit here and blend it. So take your time. I know it seems time consuming, because it kind of is, but it really helps. Also, if you guys wanted to dab a little bit of a of the illumination primer in your foundation and put it on your face, that'll give a little extra glow. Or even something like a liquid highlighter, you can do that as well and just dab it in there and give yourself a little extra glow. But this is your best bet, again, if you're oily combo or just oily in general and you don't want too much of the glow, because you already have that illumination primer underneath. So now we can highlight the places that we want to be highlighted and not like the center of the nose or the greasy part of your face. I'm going to do concealer really quick, because my eyes always look super crazy. Underneath my eyes always look super crazy after I do foundation. I never look like I have dark circles until I put on foundation. So crazy. So if you guys are looking for a good concealer, I've already recommended this a million times, but MAC Pro Longwear concealer is the bomb to me. It's my favorite concealer, and if you're oily, or even if you're not, any skin type really can use this concealer in my opinion. But if you're oily, this will definitely not move on your face. It will stay there no matter what. And you can also use this on the face as a foundation, if you want to make like a tinted moisturizer, or if you just want to put this on your face as a foundation. Like I said, it will definitely do the job and not move. So you can use it the same way as the Estee Lauder Double Wear, but I just prefer the Estee Lauder Double Wear because that is meant for all over the face. So I do think it works just a little bit better. So before I get into powders, I'm going to just put on a little bit of a cream highlight, which I spoke about this highlight in my, what was it, like my summer glowy skin foundation routine, something like that. I'll have it up here, linked down below. But this Lightning Crew one by the Beauty Crop is amazing because it dries. It doesn't stay greasy or anything like that. So if you have oily skin and you want that wet looking highlighter, you definitely 100% can use this, because again, it dries completely. It doesn't stay wet at all. So you don't have to worry about it mixing with your oils and starting to get really greasy and gross. This will not do that. So I am going to just put a little bit of this on the back of my hand and highlight my face, start to highlight my face like I usually would. The tops of my cheekbones. right there. On the, I was going to say bridge of my nose. Why do I always get my words mixed up? Right underneath my brow bone on the arch. I'm going to take this again on the other side. And see, I'm matte, like this whole face is matte right now, but by bringing in these highlighters that I'm going to bring in a couple right now, we're going to be able to look dewy and fresh while still subsiding all these oils on my face. Now, if you're super oily again throughout the T-zone, don't even touch it. I'll tell you guys what I'll show. I will show you guys something in a second to do. That's where I'm really going to place that for now. You can also place just a little bit right up here. I have a lot of hairs on my forehead. I actually want to do like a laser hair removal on my face. Just get like all the facial hair removed. Like, not like I have a huge mustache, but like I have a lot of hair going on. So I want to get that fixed because I don't really like how my makeup lays. So I don't really like to highlight this area, but just so I can show you guys, you can do a little bit there. If you get oily, again, if you get oily on your forehead, right in your nose, on your chin, don't really touch that. Most people do not get oily right here, so that's where I really like to highlight. Also, again, this is not going to stay wet, so even if you do start to get oily, it'll stay intact and it won't look super crazy or anything like that. I'm going to dab a little bit of this, the same one right in the inner corner of my eye. I like to connect my highlighters right into my eyes as well. So I'm just going to put a dot there, and then I will continue it later. So now we can get into powder. So I'm going to set right underneath my eyes quickly. I'm going to get all the creases out because usually I would set right away, but since I was going in with another cream, I didn't want to put a cream over a powder. So I waited. But now I'm just going to set quickly. You guys can use whatever you want. Use a mattifying if you are super oily, like I said. I feel like I keep using those same words, but this is a tutorial based on oily skin types, oily combination. Use whatever you feel comfortable with. I'm going to use my YSL powder because that's what I like. It reflects light so it doesn't look super cakey and it doesn't make my under eye look super dry or anything like that. My headband is all the way in the back of my head now. I should probably fix that. So I just set quickly underneath my eyes with my beauty blender. You can also use this brush here, the Real Technique setting brush. Now for the center of my face, you definitely want to set that. I'm taking my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Medium Plus, and I'm making sure to press this product right where I get oily the most, which is right here on my nose. And this also helps with pores. It fills in the pores when you press a powder into your nose or into the area where you have the most pores. Setting my entire nose. I'm going to set my chin. And then I'm going to set a little bit on my forehead. That's really my oil, like my problem areas with oils. And if we're looking a little powdery right now, don't worry, we will take care of that later. So I'm going to go on to powder highlights. Okay, so my first powder highlight here is my Tiki Bronzer 129 by Hard Candy. I've raved about this so many times. I know you guys are so sick of hearing about it, but I wanted to show you guys in action how I really use this all over my face to get an all over glow when I'm using matte foundations, because it is so glowy and not super shimmery or glittery. You can do that. So I literally just swirl my brush all in the product and then I apply it all over my face. Okay, so that is already giving me a very beautiful glowy look. When I start to get oily 3-4 hours later, I will just dab right in the center of my face, since I did put some highlighter there, and it'll be gone, and it won't be a big deal. But I still like to put it all. It's almost like I'm setting my rest of my face that I didn't set my foundation with that powder. But since it's like very glowy, you're getting that glowy look. If you're very oily around your face, again, set the same way I set in my T-zone with that matte powder, and you can kind of skip that step. I am just going to add a little bit of a contour to my face quickly because I feel like I need it, even though this is not really a step, but I'm just going to slightly contour right under the highlight. Okay, so now we can go on to the little secret that I wanted to tell you guys about, which is this $5 eyeshadow that is a bomb highlight. It's so, so pretty. I almost wanted to do a whole video about it, but I know I've heard people speak about it. It's not like a huge secret or anything, but to me, I haven't shared it with you guys really on my channel. And this is the Bella Chiffon Bella Eyes Gel Powder Eyeshadow by Milani. This is so pretty. You guys are gonna die. So I'm gonna take that same brush, which is now dry, even though I used that liquid product again because it does dry. My brush is already dry. I'm actually going to wet my brush to get the maximum color payoff from that eyeshadow with my Fix Plus. Then I'm going to dip right into this eyeshadow. And do you guys see this right now? I'm going to highlight once again. This is life. This is the best highlight that you're gonna get for $5, hands down. I'm gonna do my nose again. Stay away from that if you're super oily, but I can get away with it right now because it is winter and I'm not that oily. I'm gonna highlight my Cupid's bow. Obviously my other side of my cheekbones, right underneath my brow again. And then I'm going to leave my chin alone, my forehead alone, because it is still glowing from those other highlighters that we used. And you guys can see, although I use many matte products, even a matte moisturizer, my skin is looking really glowy and radiant. To complete this look and really set everything and make it look so natural and pretty, and I mean not super natural, you can see this highlight from outer space, but you know what I mean, like my face isn't gonna look powdery or anything like that. I take my Fix Plus. I think this is a huge thing for us oily skin girls or oily combination girls that like to powder the heck out of our faces and our nose and our our T-zone area, because we powder so much that sometimes we look a little cakey or powdery. This is going to take that look away. So this is going to let you do that powder look. I mean, don't pack it on like very excessively, but it's going to let you do that, and it's still going to let your skin look very radiant and just so much better. If you want to go in with something like, where is it? Like the makeup setting spray by Urban Decay, like the all-nighter first, just because you want it to really set in all the makeup you just did, and then go on top with this to take away the powdery look and accentuate your highlighted areas to make you look less powdery and more dewy. You can do that as well. And girlfriend, when I tell you that I have on so much matte stuff because I'm an oily combination and I do not feel like I look matte at all, I'm telling you the truth, because this glow don't lie. It looks so radiant, and if you still want to dab right in your nose, you can do that, and then just keep your Fix Plus with you, spray again, and that's it. It's going to just make such a difference when you want to look glowy, but you don't want to be super cakey. I feel like I'm repeating myself at this point, but just wanted to be as informative as possible. I'm going to finish my makeup, and then I will be right back.
You want to get all this stuff bond. Like if you glaze it with wine, make it everything over.